Tonight, the war on drugs. A total waste of taxpayer money that did nothing more than fill up American prisons and create a legal form of slavery? Or just one of Tricky Dick Nixon's famous practical jokes that simply got out of hand? The answer probably won't shock you. Find out tonight, America, on America, the podcast. Pass that Dutchie to the left-hand side, Timmy boy. Good to be back. Hello, America. It's America, the podcast. So, what's the verdict? I mean, does he or does he not? Oh, yes, he does indeed eat poop. Ted Cruz eats his own poop. He has to do it twice a day. For some quote-unquote condition that he has. I don't know. He even has a cookbook that he made out of construction paper, but he's trying to sell it. I can't imagine who would want to buy a poop cookbook. But yeah, to answer the first question, yeah, the healthcare bill, or whatever they wanted to call that thing, didn't pass. Washington was fun, and yeah, Ted Cruz eats poop. So, I guess we should do the show, right? Yeah, I guess so. We're rolling anyway, so you can go ahead. Oh, we're rolling. Well, fine. Hello, America! It's me, the Bastard, and welcome to episode 8 of America with me! Can you guess it? Yes, the Bastard. Now, we were on, our last few episodes, 2 more after this one, then it's off to fight the war on Christmas. But that war can wait. No matter what the decorations department at Target says. I mean, they're putting out the snowmen in September this year. Slow your roll, Target. No. Today we discuss a different war. A shadow war. And no, it's not the war with Obama's deep state, or Dick Cheney's deep state, or George Clooney's deep state, or even the island of robot soldiers controlled by Elon Musk. No, this is a war on what I assume most of my listeners are on. Drugs. But specifically today we will be touching on marijuana, or dabbing on it, or waxing it, or vaping it, or whatever the hell you kids do these days. Do you sample the Mary Jane, Timothy? I do not. Unfortunately, it's illegal in Texas. But we're in Austin. I bet you just can't find it. I'll talk to my guy. Same guy that sells to Greg Abbott and Ken Paxton. No way those guys smoke weed. Ah, but that's just the thing. I'm not sure if you know this, Timothy, but most politicians are what some might call liars. Did you know that? I did not. Oh, it's true. Most presidents have even smoked marijuana, which from here on out, let's just call it cannabis. I like it better. Marijuana was just some racist slang word that white people made up to scare people out of wanting cannabis. What do you mean? Well, basically, back in the 20th century, the lumber and oil industries didn't like much that hemp was so cheap and easy to grow and could easily replace the two of them. And, full disclosure, I am no friend to the lumber and the oil... Okay, well, just the lumber. I'm no friend of the lumber industry. I was for hemp farms from the beginning, which we'll get to in a moment. Anyways, the rich and powerful people who are not me made up a bunch of racist, scary stories about cannabis that ended up getting it outlawed. And the Times, being as racist as they were, made it very easy. Like how? Well, you see, the culture of the South was still pretty bitter about getting their traitorous asses handed to them just a couple decades prior. By backing these laws that turned cannabis users into criminals, they could, and still do to this day, I might add, apply harsh and lengthy prison sentences to anyone they want, not to mention all of the other laws under Jim Crow that carried similar sentences. And then once all of those laws are applied, voila, you have a huge population for prison labor. I.e. legal slavery. My God, those Southerners. What a lazy bunch. And that was just the precursor to the war on drugs. So what about the actual war on drugs? Well, once the Equal Rights Act was passed, they needed a new way to oppress people of color. So Nixon, against my recommendation and that of many scientists who said they could not find that cannabis was as harmful as reefer madness said it was, declared a war on drugs. A war that has, at least at the time of this recording, cost the American taxpayers $32 billion for just this year, so far. Money that you could be spending on literally anything else, and that could be going into my pocket. It is one of our nation's biggest wastes and failures, and it should hang heavy over the conscience of our government. I'm not gonna lie, man, I really didn't peg you to be on the whole anti-war on drugs side of things. Are you kidding me? Timothy, what is my favorite thing in the world? Money. What is my favorite thing in the world?
Money, man. Money. I know. It's money.
Exactly. Money. I love money more than anything in this world. And because of the war on drugs, all of that money that could be going to a legitimate capitalistic business is going to a bunch of criminals. Some of which actually do want to not be criminals and start a legitimate taxable business. No, Timothy, I was already very pro-cannabis. For instance, before I realized how much of a Nazi Jeff Sessions was, he and I would go smoke a joint of Afghan Thunderfuck and Northern Lights every day at 4:20 in his car on the 3rd floor of the Congressional Garage and listen to Leonard Skinner. The only thing about that surprises me is that Jeff Sessions has a car. Well, it's more of a shoebox than a car. A baby shoebox, kind of like for the booties, you know? But shoebox nonetheless. I don't know, congressional people don't get paid that much. Unless you count all the money they get from lobbyists like me, and then, well, okay, fine, got it. Anyways, this subject, the subject of cannabis, is a subject that for some reason beyond my understanding, the mainline Republicans and I have never agreed upon. Which is why I don't think most of the Republicans are actual conservatives. They only seem to want to conserve their ancient and misguided ways of thinking, not what's most important in the world, their money. I just don't get it. I mean, listen, America, I am as old as America, and I will be here until it is gone, and even my ideas evolve over time. Much like how we discussed healthcare on last week's episode, if you are a conservative, it does not make sense for you to be against the legalization of cannabis, unless you are just willfully ignoring the statistics and scientific studies that are available. Listen, there's two things I learned while I was in Colorado. One, don't take candy from strangers that are laced with marijuana, lest you end up in the woods fighting the king of bears. And then two, the medical and recreational cannabis industries are a cash cow and I want in, and so should you. Every state where cannabis is legal either currently has or is on track to having a surplus of money that they are literally having to give back to their citizens because they got too much in tax revenue. It is actually making the places better to live. We can have better schools, parks, highways, you name it. All you have to do is legalize cannabis. But if we continue to allow the war on drugs to go on, more people will needlessly die or killed, children will be separated from what are most likely good parents, our prisons will continue to be overpopulated, crime will still be rampant, and I will still potentially be out of billions of dollars.
It's always money with you, isn't it?
Well, yes, I'm a Republican. I mean, what are you, new? And as a Republican, my message is simply this. End this failure of a war, legalize weed, get people who are on harder drugs help, because, you know, whose bright fucking idea was it to put drug addicts in prison versus putting them through detox? I mean, how much sense does that honestly make? I mean, I can't even lobby for that. That's how little sense it makes. Ugh. And above all, make me and this country money. Texas, you have so much open land, prime for growing cannabis, and you don't even tax your businesses. It's great. I base all of my businesses in Texas. I mean, do I need to have my lobbyist friends come down and fix this?
Well, I mean, wait. Was that an option this whole time?
Well, sure. But remember, we're lobbyists. At least the ones that I know value money above all else. It's kind of like Atlas Shrugged, except we're not going to abandon all of you. Yet.
Right.
America, I love you, and I do not want to see you continue to hurt because of the actions of some phlebitis-stricken, dog-kicking, bejowled criminal president of ours. You need to call your state and federal reps and plead with them to repeal these out-of-date laws. And if you are talking to a Republican rep, remember, appeal to their sense of greed. It might actually work. Works on me. Now, today's guest is Michael Sizemore of the Brews and the Boys podcast on the Waffle Butt Media Podcast Network, which you can actually catch every Tuesday and live on Sundays after every Cowboys game. He will be giving his first-hand account of how the war on drugs can affect the innocent lives of this country. And with that, I am off to Portland, Oregon. That's super random. Why are you going to Portland? More drug research or something? Actually, no! I heard on the fake news that Oregon has quite the Nazi problem, so I thought I'd go up there and, hunt a few.
Right. Wait, hold, I'm sorry, what? No. You can't go up there and hunt people. Stop. No, you can't hunt people, man.
Oh, can't I?
No, dude.
Oh, relax. It's not like I'm hunting endangered animals again. Which, by the way, I want my panda coat back. I know you took it.
Only if you promise to, not hurt or kill anyone.
Oh, I'm not going to kill them. They're American citizens. I wouldn't do that. I'm just going to hunt them, make them feel helpless. That sort of a thing, like they do to everybody else. I would only kill a Nazi if we were at war, which we aren't. Yet.
Okay, but, like, no guns, man.
Oh, I'm bringing my tranquilizer gun. I don't want them to get too far.
Whatever. Okay, let the record show I don't approve of any of this.
Oh, whatever, Mom. I'm off. Enjoy your interview. I'm going up to Portland, gonna hunt myself some Nazis. Going up to Portland, hunting those Nazis.
I think this is why he told me to buy insurance for him.
It's America, the podcast.
This has been a production of Shui Media, all rights reserved. For more information, please visit shuimedia.com.